go a bit down. That's fine. Yeah, that's very good. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So this is what's the canvas called again? That fishbone, herringbone.
Yeah.
Canvas. Have you painted on that before?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's very nice, and the things that when you paint on this one, and the temperature sometimes changes from warm to cold, or vice versa, it tends to become a bit. It stays tense in comparison with other kind of linen. So the other canvases get a bit wobbly.
Yeah.
But this one keeps its shape.
Have you did you prepare it twice or 3 times?
2 times.
2, yeah. Because I found you can do 3 times if you want to work in a much drier way. If that's your sort of character, and you can build it up and almost sort of paint as if it was watercolor. Of course, it takes a lot longer time before it starts to becoming more nice and soft and all that. But
I have not tried it with 3 layers. I have just tried it with just 1 layer. Becomes a bit how can I say it? Well, the canvas sucks so much with just 1 layer.
But then the structure of the canvas becomes too clear, I guess. Or I haven't tried just 1 layer.
Oh yeah, it works fine, but it just sucks a lot. So with 2 layers, I think it's what's the best for me, at least.
Yeah, there's a funny story about the fishbone canvas. Was a student who found it.
Yeah.
He thought that he had the advantage on Odd because he was concerned with Titian at an earlier stage. And then he didn't want to tell Odd where he had found the canvas.
Oh God.
So I had to do a lot of investigation. I found it through the German
he didn't want to
whatever, and then we got to order it.
Is it?
Yeah.
So he was kind of keeping.
Yeah, sort of. He didn't want to share. And then later, of course, he says, "Oh, it's too difficult to paint on."
He found it difficult to paint on it.
Yeah.
Why?
The structure of it. You don't. Depending on what he envisioned, the structure of it makes it more difficult to get this sort of nice soft painterliness, if that's what you want. Or, when your experience is the more sort of, shall we say, normal canvas.
Yeah. Of course, if you like something that doesn't, it almost doesn't look like it's a painting, there will be a problem. But kind of more rough painting, and it is so nice, and you can sand it a lot and and really be tough and hard with it, and it keeps its shape and.
It's the same thing as if you're doing watercolor and you work with thicker paper. It can take a little bit more time to get some sort of the painterliness of it, but then when you get it, it's really nice to work with.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I kind of like the most of this one, that you can just sand it and insist on it, and it just keeps its shape.
Are you thinking of something I talked with Christine Onsrud about, doing a portrait, which in terms of motif is simpler, but like, do you envision some kind of narrative here, or is it sort of the mood or just getting it up there now first?
Yeah. Now it's just getting the shape, and there's so much work on it that it's kind of hard to start thinking about a certain kind of a story on this stage. It's more about then the expression of the face and. Getting a nice expression, soft. So then it can kind of grow into something, but not now. I didn't have any plan as a story.
Yeah. What do you think about that? It'd be interesting to hear what your take on the same. I mentioned what Öde was talking about once.
Yeah.
With knowing what your discipline demands, or not trying to make it into something else than it is. So, for example, if you write a short story, you don't want to have a huge gallery of persons and a lot of complicated issues going on. You would have to minimize it, because the format demands it. And
yes.
I think you could say the same thing about a portrait, or a simple portrait. That don't try to make it into some grand thing when there's no possibility of doing it, really.
It's like you don't. Maybe it's in terms of music, or you don't make an epic thing out of a little short story about a simple.
Yeah. It's like when you read Roald Dahl's short stories. It's quite simple, like one motif, so to speak. Of course, things happen, but it's not like a hugely complicated story.
No, it doesn't. It's not necessary. And it seems like there's some. I understand that some painters might start wondering, should I think about storytelling and narrative and everything? But in some portraits, it's not necessary at all.
Yeah, and I think the mood, or the just capturing the personality can be that sort of story.
Yeah.
Given the how should I say it, that it's not such a pretentious motif.
Then it's better to just leave it with a nice expression, and instead of going into as you say, as a pretentious motif or something.
Thank you for checking out this video from the School of Apelles. To watch the full video and access our premium library, go to caveofapelles.com/subscribe and become a $10 patron. That's caveofapelles.com/subscribe.